Okay, so I'm going to just get into the questions here. At one time, the bears had toys and other than their enrichment tools to play with. Is there a reason why they no longer have them? The toys that they were playing with are not a natural item, and our director preferred them to have the logs and stuff just to play with, and we're still working on getting that arranged, but for right now, they can't have the balls and the bumpers that they had before. Another question, can you identify the flowers? I think we already did that. Actually, I think Claire Bear identified the clover. I thought it was the buttercup that was growing there, but it's the red clover. It's called red clover, but it has a purple flower, sorry. There seems to be, I talked about the bears outside the enclosure. We do have probably about 6 bears, I'd say, that are cruising the area. They go through every 3 or 4 days, and that's typical. The food in the area, like I said, is very sparse. I have seen at other diversionary stations that are feeding bears at least 30 to 35 bears coming in, mostly males. So the population is huge around here right now, and many of the females have had 4 cubs. So that means last year was a good year. Next year, it'll probably be 2 to 3 cubs. So let's see. I also wanted to mention that the reason that we have a lot of bears on the trail is for quite a while this spring, Spencer had bird feeders up, and it was great because the birds were coming in, but it also draws bears. We put trail cams up so that we can see what kind of critters are out on our trail, and it caught not only some foxes and raccoons and a fisher, but also a family of bears. A mother with 3 cubs, and one of them was Cinnamon, and that one hung around for quite a while here. We haven't seen that one in a while, but we have seen the 2 black ones around. So there are bears out here in our woods. And what did I pick up behind the pond to show the interns? Actually, it was the bear educators that I did show. It was just a piece of birch bark, but it had a beautiful worm design on the inside. And of course, the bark on the inside is orange. And so it was very pretty because the design looked pretty natural. I was going to bring it in, but it was so wet I just left it out there. Did the pileated woodpecker near the mound have offspring? Well, Spencer and I were talking about that early in the spring when he was building the nest. The male builds the nest. They work together. But we could hear another pileated calling in the forest, and he actually chose to go to that one. So unfortunately, we didn't have a nest or offspring this year, but we're hoping that they come back and maybe next year they will. The sad part about that is the bears here can climb and they may eat the eggs before they hatch. So hopefully that we would have it for that, just a learning experience, but we don't want, the fledglings to get eaten or the eggs. So we didn't have any newborns here. Okay, so there should be enough here. Sorry. Let's see. Kim mentioned that Tasha had dirt on her face and her claws. Yes, we saw that. She is digging. We did go back and check the old dens today. No evidence. There had been somebody in there at one point because there was muddy prints, but the dirt on her body this afternoon didn't look like that dirt that's back there, so we just have to see where she's digging. Did you find any new digging spots? We did not find any new digging spots on our rock. The last question is kind of complicated, but I'll try to give a brief answer here as best I can. The person that wrote the question, Marge, would like to know, when Lucky was a cub, how long he stayed inside, when he met Ted, what he did, and the whole works. Well, it's a long story, folks, but I'll give you a little brief, I hope just brief here. When Lucky came here, it was just, try to get that 480 pounds back here to see if he can get what's on his back. They're pretty well balanced, these guys. Lucky was about just under around 20 pounds when he came to us, and yes, he did stay inside. He had a little dog crate and with blankets, and his favorite thing to play with was either sticks or some broccoli. And he took a bottle, and he was inside for just under 2 weeks. And then Dr. Rogers thought it was time to be introduced to the other bears, and everyone was freaking out because he was so tiny. So in the interim of him going into the big enclosure, he was put outside behind the fence just like we are right now, so he could get the smells of the other bears, and Ted would lay in front of him and look at him. And he got a little bit afraid of that, but eventually he just learned to accept what came the day when he was put inside the enclosure. The first time he was put out, Dr. Rogers was in a little bit of a rush. And of course, Honey Bear, who we thought was going to be just fine, decided that she would barrel down the mound and come and see what the problem was. Lucky was screaming. He had got caught in some brush and zapped by the fence. So Honey Bear came, and I jumped in front of her, and that was a force to be reckoned with, if everybody remembers our sweet Honey Bear. And she did back off, and we did get Lucky, and that was the end of his first excursion into the enclosure. The second chance he had, the second time he would basically stay in the cub tree. And Joel, another intern that was here very, very early in our opening, he and I would go in and we would feed Lucky and we would play with him, along with Sharon Johnson and Donna Andrews. So we had the great opportunity of being his mom. He accepted Ted as a friend very, very, very cautiously. But on the first part of October, they were introduced. Actually, I think it was around October 27th or so. And they became friends after that. And there was a lot of play that went on. And then as Lucky matured, he also grew, and he grew stronger and stronger. And he would play roughly with Ted until Ted lost his trust. And then we neutered Lucky when he was about 5, but the trust had already been broken. And that's kind of where the story ends there. They're no longer together, but I can write more than I can talk about. So I will answer your question online. So thank you, folks, all of you, for tolerating me be on this thing so long. And thank you, our moderators, for staying with us and focusing on our bears who are getting along very well because we have food out here. And I'm going to sign off now and be back with you tomorrow at 12:30. Thank you all.